So, from a place of possibility and positivity, we're going to take these intentions and sort of put them into tangible actions, a tangible and practical action plan. So, again, what is the true mind? Where is it that we all originally come from? We actually have to think back. We tend to think, well, I was born in my hometown, I was born to my parents. But I'm speaking more broadly. Where does humanity come from? Where does the earth come from? Where does all of nature come from? It comes from the universe or the source. What we're talking about is an infinite emptiness that is non-material, but it is alive. So all of nature can be alive, can live. Humanity and everything in the universe can live because there's a living basis to it, a living origin. This living existence is eternal. It has always been here and it will never die. It can be called the source, it can be called the creator, higher power, and in any case, it is actually our true nature. From here, all the different things have come forth, whether we call it a star, a sun, moon, or earth. Everything is a beautiful expression or manifestation of this existence. That includes people too, right? That's what we were talking about last week. How nothing in nature needs to prove its worth because it just exists as it is. Just like that, we do not need to prove our worth. We simply just were born and we exist as it is. What happens for people, though, is instead of living with that mind of truth, what happened is our body is an automatic camera, and from the moment we're born, we've been capturing all the things we've seen, all the things we've heard, all the things we've experienced, not just the sensory information, but all the thoughts and feelings about it have gotten taken into as pictures in our mind. We've been doing this from birth. So, from our childhood, through our elementary school life, our upbringing, childhood, adolescence, our studies, and then into working life, relationships, and so on, all the while we've been recording and adding and adding and adding to our mind. What this creates is countless pictures, countless thoughts, which then overlap on top of the real world, such that we cannot see the real world as it is. We cannot live in the world as it is, and cannot even live as our true self in the world. What we're living as is from within these pictures. What we're living in is with these shadows of the past, really. So we can see how in this example here, the place where this man is walking is very peaceful and calm. But what's going on in his head? It's anything but peaceful and calm, right? And who else has been in this experience or situation? I know I have. Or even I try to go for a walk, try to clear my head. And even though it's very helpful to do that, or even I go to a peaceful place or a beautiful place, my mind is somewhere else. Either I'm thinking about something that happened in the past, or I'm worried about the future, something that's bound to something that's gonna happen that hasn't even happened yet. So this is what meditation is allowing us to kind of be released from, and let go of. This true mind, the universe mind, is infinite. Not only that, but it is eternally alive, like we said, and this is the source of wisdom and vitality. What this is the intelligence that created the universe. So it is wisdom itself, it is energy itself. Now, where each person is inside the human mind or the picture world. We call it the false mind because it is made of the pictures I took. It is made of copies of the world, copies of past moments. This is a world that will disappear because it's only inside my own brain. So it only exists to me and to myself. And then this is also where all of my stress, burden, and discomfort exists. The question is for you, what kind of mind would you like to have? The true mind, infinite, eternally living, and wisdom and energy? Or would we want to continue living inside of the picture world with all kinds of stress, burden, and discomfort that will eventually disappear? I think it's pretty obvious, right? So, our meditation is about throwing away this false mind world. What remains is not nothing. What remains is the world itself. What remains is wisdom itself, consciousness itself, where you have wisdom, vitality, and clarity, and you live your life by that wisdom. Now, bringing it back to practical terms here, we're approaching 2026. Many people think about setting positive intentions and New Year's resolutions in the new year. And in so doing, it means we want to change some habit, right? Oftentimes. What I realized within myself as I embarked on this meditation journey was that many of the habits, so-called bad habits that I had, say around food, drinking, or various social, like scrolling social media, TV, these kinds of things, when taken to an extreme, you know, what was I doing was I was actually just trying to soothe or distract from this mind. Really, I had some discomfort in my mind, and so my so-called bad habits were just to try to forget this, if that makes sense. But I think we probably, if anyone can relate to this, you probably know that that doesn't really solve the issue. It provides maybe some temporary relief, but it does not actually resolve the issue itself, nor does it resolve the mind and stress that I have about it. So, you've all actually taken a very powerful first step by embarking on a meditative journey, a self reflection journey. And we can actually clear our mind of this. The good news is we can actually clear our mind of this. And then naturally, even the so called bad habits no longer become necessary, no longer become even attractive or relevant because your mind can be comfortable and clear. So, what I would like to do now is take a bit of time where we're going to sort of set a vision and turn that vision to an action. I chose these three major topics, and you can choose one or you can approach all three. But I'd like you to think of how would it feel to really live in alignment in each of these areas? And then secondly, what is one daily or regular action I can take that would fulfill this intention or move towards this intention? Okay. So, for instance, body and health, like I would like to wake up every day feeling energized. That's sort of a more big picture vision. Then, what is a regular action I can take to fulfill this? Maybe setting an alarm to go to bed, setting a bedtime alarm to tell me to go to bed at, say, 10 p.m. or whatever that is, a small daily action that would actually satisfy, that would move towards living in alignment with that value. Maybe 7 or 8 minutes with this, but of course, once you have it, you can take more time later on. I'll play a bit of music and we'll start. So, like I said, I have these three: body and health as one area. Second would be mind or happiness. And the last would be kind of spirit and connection. You can interpret these however you wish. This could be connection in terms of interpersonal relationships, connection with true self, connection with source, however you like to think of it. Can you hear the music?
Yes.
Great. Well, as some of you have already kind of hinted at this, I wanted to share this quote from Winston Churchill: perfection is the enemy of progress. Sometimes we have kind of an all or nothing mindset, and that if I fall off the bandwagon once, then the whole thing is shot. But it really is about slow, steady progress, starting simply, little by little, it can be achieved. When we sit down and meditate, what we're going to be confronted with, sometimes we think, oh, if I sit down and meditate, we see people sitting with their eyes closed. It looks so peaceful. They look so serene on their face. But actually, meditation is a little bit of a battle because we have all these pictures in our head which carry all kinds of emotions, such as fear, anger, worry, doubts. And so it's this accumulation of pictures that are the source of our daily stress. If we can regularly kind of release these pictures from our mind, more and more you can feel clear and comfortable. So, meditation is clearing the mind of these pictures, which are false, meaning they are copies of a moment that have passed. These copies do not have life. The actual world has life, but these pictures are lifeless. And yet they create all of our stress and tension inside.